family. I mean, I consider both my family, but my mom on my adoptive side is my mom. Sarah, my biological mother, that's how I reference her, as either Sarah or my biological mom or birth mom. So I'm close to both of them, but I'm going to talk about my adoptive family first. It's this side, so here's me, here's my sister. We are daughters of through adoption, obviously. My mom and my dad here, yeah. So my mom, she is currently 69 years old. Has been disabled since she was in her 40s with rheumatoid arthritis. She's been a caregiver all over her life. She first took care of my cousin, who is my mom's oldest brother's daughter. And then she was caregiver to me and my sister, a stay-at-home mom. And then she ended up taking care of my cousin Stephanie, her son, who has cerebral palsy. And then she's always really taken care of my grandmother. My mom and my dad lived with my grandma most of their marriage. They were married for 25 years. And then the last few years of my grandma's life, my mom was really the caregiver, taking her to doctor's appointments most of the time, about 95% of the time, and making sure that she had home-cooked food and everything in between. In the last few months, both me and my mom were kind of the caregivers of my grandma. She all of a sudden got sick and died at age 92. So my mom died, and then my mom's mom, Laura, I called her Nan instead of Little. She was married to Henry Sherpy, who she had my mom and my Uncle Chuck with. And then I don't know if they were married, but William Blaine was her first relationship who she had my Uncle Bill with. My Uncle Bill, I don't consider him my uncle really because I don't know him, and he has always been a horrible person to my mom. Doesn't really care for us anyway. So, yeah. So my dad, my mom's still living. My dad died at age 55, just after my 18th birthday, my high school graduation, about a month and a half after. So my mom's dad, Henry, passed away like within days of my dad's passing, and so the funerals were held on the same day, one in Kansas City, and my dad was in Wichita. So when me and my sister went to my dad's funeral, my mom was at her dad's funeral. She always kind of regretted not going to my dad's funeral because she had even though their relationship was not great, she had a longer relationship and a better relationship with my dad than she did her dad. So yeah, he passed away after like kidney failure and quadruple bypass surgery and things like that. So he never got sick his entire life until a couple years before he passed away. And I hadn't seen him for about 4 or 5 years before he passed away. So when I went to the funeral, I thought I'd be okay. It was actually really, really tough. So I was 18 when that happened. My sister does not have a relationship with her mother. She tried a couple of times, 2 separate times. She has some issues though, so that didn't work out. And here's where my Uncle Bill had my cousin Stephanie, who had my little cousin Will with William Hedel, and he just passed away 2 years ago of a cancer. Pretty young. I consider young. He was probably 50, 51, something like that. That's pretty young. My dad was pretty young too. But I didn't know him very well, but they made a pretty cute son. He has cerebral palsy, so my mom takes care of him a lot, and my cousin works and whatnot. So yeah, so that's the basics. My Uncle Chuck, we were always close to that side of the family because they lived nearby, and we always had Christmases together our entire life, my entire life, my sister's entire life. They always had Christmases together, so it was pretty rough. After my grandma died, the family just kind of stopped talking to us. So right now it's me, my sister, my mom, and my cousin Stephanie, who's really kind of difficult to get along with. My mom and her butt heads a lot, and my little cousin William. So those are the people who are in the immediate family, who still talk. My Uncle Chuck was just angry at some mistakes my mom made, and they were big mistakes, but they couldn't really realize that there was something behind it. And my mom's entire life, she was a caregiver, and so those last few years that she was taking care of my grandma, she just really made some mistakes that she's not proud of, she can't really fix, and my uncle and my cousins can't really forgive her for it, unfortunately. So this is my family at the last Christmas that we all had together before my grandma passed away. So that's my mom, my cousin Stephanie, that's my Uncle Chuck, I was always really close to him, my cousin Emily down here, and my cousin Eric, who's over here, and there's my grandma right there. And so yeah, that's kind of sad. It still saddens me a little bit that they have to be kind of childish about it and everything, but to each their own. This is my mom a few years ago. So yeah, she's super close to my mom and to my sister. This is my sister and I a few years ago. I'm pretty sure she wanted to kill me when I was a kid. She was the center teacher type of person. I was really laid back and everything, so I didn't really care. But yeah, today we're like best friends and like we're each other's favorite person in the world, blah, blah, blah. So all that cute stuff. These are my uncles, my Uncle Chuck, who I was close to, my Uncle Bill, who I'm not, and I don't care to ever see. Yeah. And my dad, when we were kids, right there. And then there's me and my sister. And there's one of my grandma when she was younger, and my grandpa who I never met. Well, Not since I was a baby, which I don't really count that. Okay, I think that's it with that. So my adoptive side, I'm trying to get this shorter. The adoptive side of the family is over here on this side. So my birth mom, Sarah, was never married. They had like a short summer romance type thing when they were teenagers, and she had me when she was 17, hence why she put me up for adoption. All I know about him is his name, his age, his birth date, and that he was blonde hair and brown eyed. Obviously, I didn't get that. Apparently, I got his nose though. I'm hoping to find him eventually, but his name is so common that it's kind of hard. So my birth mom is currently married to Tony. They've been married since they were like 22, I think. He's a super cool guy, and so I always spend Christmas night with that family. My birth mom had 3 brothers and a sister. My Aunt Katie, I'm close with her. She lives here in Kansas City, so Christmas with her every year. She was currently caregiver to my uncle, or my grandpa Jay, and she became caregiver after my grandma Shirley developed cancer of the throat. So she passed away just 2 years ago. But my birth mom's other 2 brothers, Martin, I never met, but he passed away. I don't even remember. I think just maybe a few months before my grandma passed away. He passed away of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And then my uncle David, over here, he was only 11 when he passed away of leukemia. So there is definitely a running theme of death in the family and cancer. Lots of cancer. My Uncle Scott, who lives in Georgia, has a son and a daughter, and I've never met them, but I really hope to meet Ashley. She is a little bit younger than me, and we both share the same gene for Graves' disease. So we both share that disease. So that's pretty interesting when I found that out. But she seems super awesome. Hopefully I'll meet her. My Uncle Martin, who passed away of non-Hodgkin's, had a partner. Both my Aunt Katie and my Uncle Martin were gay. Katie's still alive, so she's gay, but she doesn't have a partner. But his partner, they lived together, and his name is Joel, and he was caregiver of Martin. So my grandpa Jake is still alive. He is 90 years old, and I think the only real issue that he has, other than like he had some surgery to do with the heart a few years ago, he has macular degeneration, so I'm kind of freaked out about that I might get that. Other than that, like other deaths higher up, older family, there's been a few cancers in the family, so yeah, it freaks me out a little bit. But what can you do except for like try to keep yourself healthy, right? So this is a picture of my Aunt Katie, and I think that might be Martin, Scott, and that's David, the one that passed away when he was 11. That is my mom and my birth mom together at my graduation a couple years ago. And then that is my Uncle Martin, who passed away, and that's Scott, he's still alive. And that is actually his partner, Joel. So I hear he was super awesome. That's my grandma Shirley. He passed away 2 years ago. She was amazing and adorable, and I love to hear her tell stories. That's my grandpa Jay. I'm gonna keep saying uncle. My Aunt Katie. This is Tony, my birth mother's husband. There's another picture of Sarah and Tony and my grandparents, my aunt. So that was actually the day, I think that was the day I met all of them, except for Sarah I had met previously. But I think that was the date that I actually met all of them for the first time. And I think that's it. Here's a little picture of my little cousin when he was little. Learned to use his walker and everything, so wasn't he cute? He's pretty adorable. He's currently 13. I think he was 12 or 13. I think he's 13. He just turned 13. So, or he's about to turn 13. So yeah, I think that's it. So sorry, it's been a long video. I imagine that a lot of people have trouble probably cutting it short. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's. All right, bye.